guys, this is Animat, and welcome back to the Muppet Vlog. Now this time we're going to be looking into the 13th episode of the Muppets, which is Got Silk. And it's actually very interesting to mention about this episode, comparing to the last one, A Tale of Two Piggies. Now, if you may recall, in the last one, it was just highly interesting and just really fascinating with all the new elements that they brought in, and a lot of the things that they really did fix, like Sam the Eagle as a character in the show, and also bringing back Camilla. And plus the fact that they ended off in that massive cliffhanger. As a Muppet fan, like, it just got me so hyped up, so excited to see what else can they do with Camilla and stuff like that. It's just, it really got me hooked. It really got me fascinated. I really want to know more. Unfortunately, though, that is not the case. Instead, Got Silk actually seems more like a follow-up to the 11th episode, Swine Song, and that's mostly because a lot of the elements that were introduced there are brought back into this, and I'll explain as I go on. So basically, this episode is actually about Miss Piggy once again, just like in the last episode, where she realizes she doesn't necessarily have any friends that, like, would always stick by her side, like, all the time and stuff like that. Like, they would mostly be, like, temporary because, like, Miss Piggy would just screw up without her realizing it because, well, Miss Piggy is Miss Piggy. So she decided to go into the silk aerobics to, like, try it out and see how things would work since, like, Janice suggested it to her. And, well, things pretty much go from there, and Miss Piggy would soon discover, like, if she does actually have a friend or not. And, while that is happening, there is another plot that actually does connect more to Swine Song. Basically, Pache is back, unfortunately. I know, like, in the last episode, they did so well bringing in Sam the Eagle, but then suddenly they decided to bring back Pache, and I knew that he would come back. I knew he was a recurring character. Like, I don't know, just having Sam the Eagle trying to control the show in terms of censorship and stuff like that, it seems like something that's a little bit too good to be true. But anyways, Pache is back, and he wants to suggest to Kermit to make, like, basically a sketch that's actually a commercial for this gluten-free yogurt thing. But he decided that, like, since Kermit said no, like, Pache would go and bribe the writers, Pepe, Gonzo, and Rizzo, to go and, you know, to bribe them with brand new suits and stuff like that. And, like, basically Kermit would find out, and the rest would go from there. Now, basically, the reason why I said that this was more of a follow-up to Swine Song is, like I said, a lot of the elements from there have returned into this one. Yes, of course, Pache is back, but also there are other stuff like the Penguin, Gloria Estefan, is once again returned, and it seems like the Penguin is going to be a massive buddy with Uncle Deadly, who is also very prominent in the episode, by the way. He's more, he always stays by the side of Miss Piggy throughout the whole thing, and if you listen carefully, that might be a clue of how the episode would go. But then also, there is another element I'm trying to think. Oh yes, there's also, they brought back the factor of Denise. She doesn't actually come back to the episode, but they made a little quick mention about how she's pretty much thinking about her relationship with Kermit. And, yeah, as you can tell, things are really going downhill, and things are going more official that she's pretty much going out. So, yay, hooray. Yeah, like, yeah, I think everybody's pretty much saying that, so, yeah, it's not really that big of a loss, but, like, I will admit, now it's starting to be up to the point that it is a little bit sad. I don't give two craps about Denise, but it's mostly seeing Kermit sad. It's like, oh, you know, like, you do feel a little bit, like, sorry for Kermit that, you know, he's going, like, he is pretty much in the process, like, that would eventually lead to a breakup, so, like, you know what's gonna happen, you know what's gonna even happen afterwards, but still, like, sad Kermit is sad to see, you know, like, you can't help but feel sorry for Kermit. Now, it's actually pretty funny that I mentioned the last episode of A Tale of Two Piggies and Sam the Eagle as well, because this is actually the perfect comparison between Pache and Sam the Eagle, and, like, how these two characters are likable or not. because here's pretty much the difference. Sam the Eagle, well, he's a recurring Muppet. We've known him since the very beginning with the Muppet Show and stuff like that. And when he was in the 12th episode of Tale of Two Piggies, like, he's pretty much being Sam the Eagle. Like, sure, he's pretty much controlling, like, he is a bit controlling to Kermit about, like, the whole controversy with the pigtail thing, but, like, he's doing his job, and that's basically who Sam the Eagle is. Like, he wants to have class and control. That's how he's been in a long time. And, like, you know that ultimately Sam's intentions are for the show. He doesn't want to sabotage anything. He wants to make sure the show is clean and is good. Like you could tell that what Sam the Eagle is doing is that, yeah, you could see that he is tough and stuff like that, but he is doing it for the show. Now, Pache, on the other hand, he's just pretty much an all-around dickbag, that he is absolutely hateable, and I'll even say it, he's even more hateable than Denise. He's pretty much an all-around dickbag, and you could tell, like, he's just doing it for himself. Like, he's just doing it, like, he doesn't care. Like, you could tell he doesn't care about the show. He just wants things to go his way, and that's it. And, like, he's even insinuating he might be even sleeping around with the network executive and stuff like that. Like, I don't care. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit mean, but, like, have you seen Pache? Like, he's an all-around dickbag. And that's the biggest problem. And, like, I feel like now this is one of the biggest problems of the show, is that they have to have this antagonist. And even his idea of, like, putting in a sketch of, like, basically a commercial that, like, it can't even be funny because it's a commercial. It's like, it's all around stupid. It's just a terrible idea. I feel like at this point, Pache is just a villain because the actual people writing this, they have no, like, they want to have a villain. They feel like they're pretty much forced to include this villain to give them these complicated situations. And honestly, it just doesn't work. Like, honestly, just get rid of the guy. Just make Sam the Eagle, like, control the things. Like, if you want to have someone like that, you already have Sam the Eagle. You proved it very well in the 12th episode. You don't need an idiot like Pache. Just get rid of him, for God's sakes. Is that really that hard to ask? I don't know. Maybe this is a problem you can fix in season 2, but I don't know. Let's just wait and see how the continuation goes. But anyways, there is actually one massive saving grace in this episode. One thing that I truly enjoyed, and that's actually they brought in a special guest, which is RuPaul. Now, the funny thing about RuPaul is that for those of you that do know RuPaul, it's actually pretty surprising to see him, well, without the drag and stuff like that. Like, he's pretty much dressed up more like his male version of RuPaul. But the one thing that hasn't changed, like, the one thing that you know it's RuPaul, it's pretty much his attitude. That is pretty much still there. And I will admit, at the beginning of the episode, like, when things are rolling up, he just had that one small appearance appearing when Gonzo, Rizzo, Pepe, and Pache are all at this tailor and stuff like that. And then you see, and then suddenly RuPaul comes out, like, from, trying out a new suit or something like that. And, like, that was pretty much it. And, like, honestly, during a bit of a time, I was a bit missing RuPaul. It's like, is that really it? Like, they need more of him. But luckily, that's exactly what it is. At the end of somewhere about, I don't know, about the last third of the episode, and this is actually another element that is similar to Swine Song, is that at the end of the episode, we actually got a bit of sketches. RuPaul comes back to introduce this fashion show where, basically, people would be dressed up, or at least some of the Muppets would be dressed up, like, in garbage bags and, like, have this whole fashion show thing going on. Well, technically, it's only Sweetums that wore, like, this trash bag outfit. But overall, it's definitely great, definitely a lot of fun. And especially, like, he is side by side by a fashion designer version of Swedish Chef. That's actually all around fun. So that definitely was the highlight of the episode. And actually, another highlight that I do want to mention is actually regarding Uncle Deadly. Yes, this will be a tiny bit of a spoiler for the episode, but yeah, basically, Uncle Deadly ends up being the one that Miss Piggy realizes, oh, he's actually my friend that would stick by me by my side throughout the whole thing. Like, it is rather obvious, but yeah, pretty much he is the one. And in the last episode, I mentioned that, I thought the last episode it would be an episode about him, but this is actually the one that Uncle Deadly is a lot more featured. Technically, you could say the same thing with Swine Song, considering that, like, he has to take care of the penguin Gloria Estefan. But this is actually more prominent. This seems to be a little bit more about him, since he seems to be the missing link to, like, Miss Piggy finding a friend and stuff like that. And overall, like, with his involvement and, like, with his help with Miss Piggy, it does give a little bit of the heart. And I guess that's the best way to put it, is that Uncle Deadly is the heart of the episode. He is what makes this episode great. Like, he does make the episode heartwarming, especially by the end. It definitely is, it just leaves you off with a great smile. So overall, I would say that as a follow-up to the last one, this is a bit disappointing, and it is definitely weaker than A Tale of Two Piggies. It is not really as good. There are some elements that do have a lot of issues, especially when it comes with Pache and stuff like that. And also the factor that it isn't a follow-up to the last episode where they didn't continue on with the cliffhanger and stuff like that. But I will say, a lot of the elements that they did introduce are definitely good. RuPaul is great, Uncle Deadly is great, and there are some moments that definitely are great with all the other Muppets. So, overall, I would say it's not the best episode, but I guess it's a decent episode with some tolerable elements, except for the ones with Pache. Like, he can burn in hell. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this week, so maybe in the next episode they'll continue on with what they introduce in A Tale of Two Piggies, because seriously, you can't leave us hanging with that cliffhanger. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see you later, dudes!